root your brand in consumer insights. Of course, this might sound very obvious, but a brand that resonates with the wants, desires of the audience, as we have just discussed, will generate definitely a more authentic and enduring experience. Prioritize, your guests should play an active part in shaping who you are. Obviously, because you have defined who your guest is, but the guest will also align as to whether you are providing it in the right manner or not. So learn, unlearn with your guest, yeah, that target group which you have already defined. Speak to him, let him talk to you. There has to be a lot of engagement levels with him while he's staying with you. And even if he's not staying with you right now, stay in touch with him. That is very important because normally a lot of hotels we've seen that people come, stay, go, but the teams in the hotel are not in touch with him. They're not even, looking at him, even if he's not booked with you for past 6 months. So you're lost. You should not lose any customer. You should just knock at his door and ask him, what is the problem? Everything is okay with him. He's healthy. He's fit. His family is safe or not. And ask him to, come back with you. Tell him about the new offers which you have in the property, or tell him about the new amenities or the facilities which you have designed now, and request him to stay at a good price. So he will feel very engaged. He will feel that they care for me. I'm important. So all those feelings are very, very important for a brand, right? So if you're creating a brand from a scratch, there's a wealth of communities to collect insights from at the early stages of the process, of course. This is a part of the survey. So when a guest is staying, of course, when you're talking to him, you get a insight about what he's liking, whether he wants to improve in some areas. So that is also a part of the survey, rather than the traditional surveys which we do on Facebook or Twitter polls which we do, or even on the online meeting there are polls which we do. So polls are very important because that really tells you where you are. Sometimes you're just working in silos. But if you're working in silos, it will not lead us anywhere, because the environment or the ecosystem where your guest is operating from is very different from your, I would say, four walls of the property. It's very important to know what he wants, what is the competition doing, where does he feel there's a gap, so that at the same time you can bridge that as you go along. It does not mean that today you have a property and after 10 years you do the survey to really refurbish your offerings. No, this has to go side by side. And that's very easy. Rather than doing traditional, very, very quantitative surveys, keep doing it on smaller bits like this. Your regular customer, just send them. Today is a world of Google Forms. Send them a Google form. Ask them to fill it. Those surveys will be really, really handy for you for anything. If you feel that you need to ask them whether they still would prefer buffets, and would it be a safe kind of offering at this period, time when it is COVID, post-COVID reopening period. Ask him if you are doubtful, if there are doubts happening in the in your company. Do a poll with him. Do a Google form with him. There is, I think, beautiful systems now in place. But engage with your customer. That's very, very important.
Yep.
And keep improving as you go along. Now, if your hotel is already up and running, schedule times to take stock, reassess where your brand is sitting in the current market, as we said. What may have started out as a business hotel may have evolved over the years as a hub for the cycling company, or a frequented spot for co-workers, because every environment, every 6 months is different. So you need to develop on it. There might be reviews which will often reveal a market is much bigger than is expected. An email survey is also something which one can do. I would say any point where you're getting stuck and your decisions are not coming out, it's best to really, really tackle the database you have been developing over a period of time. So that is a rich data. Don't let it sit. Work on it and let them also work for you. So it has to be a two-way process. The moment we feel that there is a huge, I would say, sales force with you, consider them as your sales force. Create brand ambassadors out of there. Because once you give them preference, they would really be vocal about your brand. there'll be a lot of positivity about your brand, because even if they don't like anything, but you're asking them how to better a certain thing, or your opinion about a certain thing, their opinions, which you're taking, is $1 billion for them. They want to be acknowledged. So acknowledge your guest who are walking in, who is giving you money at every step. Make him walk with you in the progress of the company. That's very, very important. That's also a branding part, because consumer insights is a part of the brand. The brand has to evolve basis the consumer insights from time to time, because market is evolving, I would say, very quickly. There's sometimes a paradigm change. There's a 360 change in the environment. Now, for example, right now, just see, COVID from January is hitting the whole world. So don't you think that there is a complete 360 or at least a 180-degree change in our own systems of hotels? So every step we are taking is basis the environment. So
So
in that environment, our guests are involved.
yeah. So
So
just to
walk with
just
them.
to summarize what you have learned in this video is like the brand is developed together with the consumers, not in silo by yourself sitting in your office. So definitely you
Yeah.
need customer insights. If you are
Yes.
just if you're just starting out your hotel, it's a new brand and it's fresh, you may want to talk to your potential customers, your target markets, what they would like, what they are dislike, so that you can create a brand which emotionally connects with them. And if you have already have a brand, it doesn't mean that you don't have to do a rebranding, or it doesn't have to evolve your brand. Brands evolve over a period of time depending on the competition, depending on the changes in consumer insights. The consumer behaviors are changing over a period of time due to many reasons: income generation, COVID-19, pandemics, crisis, and all those sort of things. So it doesn't mean that once you have established your brand, your job is done. You need to continue to see if your brand is still relevant in the market with your target market, if there are any other target markets that resonate with your brand. So you need to continue evolve your brand together with the consumer insights. So a very important pointer here is that you need to continue engage with your customers, so that you can take the insights and evolve your brand as a continuous process, not just as a one-time branding exercise.
That's right.
Okay, great.